Hey guys out there, I have absolutely no idea how to introduce this show. If it was on my end, I would have something memorized to get going. But here we are. I am not Nicole Sauce. However, this is Chuck Peoples below me and Evan Dixon from Radio Made Easy, and we are here to talk about Self-Reliance Festival. We're a half hour early, and the regular host is on a jet plane right now. So it's good to see everybody. Mr. Radio Made Easy, how art thou?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. Or I guess I need to thank Nicole, but she's not here.
Yeah, hey, whatever. We're all here. So,
but I heard you were hosting. I was excited to come.
Thank you, brother. I said, sure, we'll do it. If we can move it a half hour early, because I've got an interview with Sean Mills on Workshop Radio at 7 tonight, at 7 Mountain.
Cool.
So, yeah, it'll be good. It's a busy night. I like that. You've had some excitement, haven't you? What have you been up to?
I have. I think we were just saying when I was last on your show, I had just gotten some news that I might get the axe at my software job. Our company kind of took a nosedive, and it was uncertain there around March, April timeframe, and that ended up happening. And then the floodgates opened on Radio Made Easy just in time. So I did a pretty cool collaboration with John Willis at SOE. We did a pouch together that we combined with one of my radio kits and sold almost 200 through that. And then
yes, sir.
That teed me up for this massive thing with Wrangler Star I'm working on right now with sold almost 500 radios through that deal. So it's just been amazing just seeing the stars align and the Lord's provision in my life. And I'm just reeling, just working harder than I ever have, but for myself. So that's a new thing.
Your name's Radio Made Easy, but there ain't nothing easy about what you done. Just straight up hard work, brother, and I'm proud of you.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping the customers get it easy. I don't, but we're having a blast.
That's all right.
I got good, 600 Baofengs on the shelf here next to me that I just finished unboxing, and yeah, it's a labor of love.
And beneath me, how is my Appalachian brother down there?
Doing well. I'm presently in Florida. Taught a class earlier this week, and doing a little vacation time.
Nice. Well, it's good to have you. This was fun. I didn't know where we'd end up. Nicole said she'd have guests for me, and when I saw it was Evan and Chuck, I was rather excited. So me personally, I've been down to Tennessee once. I was at the SOE compound on, around the 1st of May. We were down working on our land down there. Dropped in to see Mr. Willis. We recorded an episode of the podcast together. Then I went to see Nicole and her tribe, and our people, as I call them, at the LFTN workshop. Straight back north, and then I headed south again to Addy, Washington for the Thrivalist Fair. So we've all been busy lately, and it's been good.
Thrivalist, is that what you said?
It's like Thrive, THRIV. Yeah, Thrivalist.
That's a cool term. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's really quite neat. They're homesteaders, a little bit kind of on the hippie side, homesteading, and it's really neat. They've got a lot of cool things on the go. Got some, it was a nice property, and man, Paul Wheaton was there as the guest, one of as the main guest speaker. Okay. And it was fun. It was quite an honor to get to share the stage with Paul Wheaton. So that was nice.
That's how I feel about the upcoming SRF with Joel Salatin coming up. He's like a longtime hero of mine, so that's going to be amazing.
Yes, I can't wait to meet that dude and shake his hand. It's good, man. I'm telling you this. So I don't know. The people out there, if there's anybody here who hasn't been to Self-Reliance Festival yet, that's how you met everybody, wasn't it, Chuck? That's how you kind of came into the family?
Yeah, I went to the first Self-Reliance, the very first one, and I didn't know anybody. And then just have developed a whole network. Met Evan, you. Yeah, I've just met a ton of people and discovered more people through it, and all the networks. So I've got friends for life. And that's what is actually how my business got started, was because of SRF. People kept telling me, you ought to do this on your own. You ought to teach. And John Willis kind of did his usual ninja mind trick and said, oh, you won't do it. and it pissed me off enough to where I started the business.
How about you, Evan? Oh, see, I caught him. It's just like, you ever go to go out to eat and the waiter comes by, the instant they ask you how you're doing or how the food is, you just shove a great big bite in your mouth. So I caught him. So
no,
what was your
was
first
a small
experience?
bite. I was anticipating him. Yeah, I've known John Willison and the whole crew over there really since I took Fighting Pistol like in 2016, I think. So I've been around, and then I saw the SRF stuff starting up, and just happened to get that same double dog dare you that Chuck was referring to from John about an idea I had for the radio business, and showed up and had a blast and enjoyed myself. I think it was the second one. I wasn't at the first SRF, but that's how I've met hundreds of excellent people, hundreds of new customers. Just everybody's been really solid, except, that one or two odd bird that you just silently kind of move away from. But no, it's been awesome. It's like the meeting of the minds of all different walks of life, the people that I wouldn't necessarily overlap with in regular life that I've just had a blast getting to know.
The important things are what's important. That's going to sound funny, but that's what it comes down to. We get all kinds come to Self-Reliance Festival. And that's what I kind of like, because like you said, there's people you're going to meet there that you might not necessarily cross paths with
right
on a regular basis. But when you're there and you're like, these are the things that really only matter. And if we can agree on these things, the rest doesn't matter. We can all just kind of encourage each other,
Yep. Unity in the essentials, I think.
Yes. And I'm cool with the rest.
Yeah.
I think I paraphrased there, but that's okay. But yeah, for me, my first was last October. It all came about. So we went down. Our very first in-person event I ever went to was last year's Nicole's Living Free in Tennessee Spring Workshop.
Oh, wow.
And we loved it so much that I got in with the guys from the Prepper Broadcast Network. So I went to Prepper Camp, which is a pretty big outdoor prepping event in Saluda, North Carolina. And I figured I didn't have enough to do. And Nicole was like, you really need to come to Self-Reliance as well. So I decided to leave Prepper Camp Sunday night around 5 o'clock and drive until, I think I stopped just outside of Nashville. Anyway, I did 2 days of fighting pistol, 2 days of fighting rifle at TAC Response, just in time to go to Self-Reliance Festival. And there's something magical about that place. I'm telling you, it's such a cool crowd, and it's a large crowd. And I mean, for me, the highlight of any event I go to is just the standing around talking, the face-to-face communications, the fellowship, the encouragement. I would take all day and just talk to anybody and everybody that wants to talk. And I will encourage any of them in their entrepreneurial ventures, man. Like that's all I want to do is see people succeed. So if you want somebody to give you a verbal kick in the ass, come and find me and I'll tell you, like, hey, let's do this. Come on. And that's what, And you're tired at the end of these events, and it's worth every lost hour of sleep for sure.
Oh yeah. I've had many a 2 and 3 a.m. conversation with 6 a.m. coming real soon, and it's worth it. Worth every time.
You're still a youngin' though. That's late for me.
It's late. We got 3 little ones, so we are used to losing the sleep.
Fair enough. So Chuck, what are you going to be doing at this Self-Reliance?
Well, apparently I'm going to be doing a half-day class. We're going to do an advanced wound care, everything you need to know about wound care for prolonged wound care. Everything from wound care, wound assessment, the actual care, wet to dry dressings, all those things, and then wound closures, everything. So we're going to do a 4-hour half-day class, and it's going to be very hands-on. I'm going to have a lot of stuff for everyone to get their hands dirty with.
Do I have to bring my own wound with me?
No, we're gonna create some.
Okay, good. I was worried.
There and I'll cut you.
Okay, good. And how about you, Evan? What are you going to do?
Well, we'll have the Zero to Hero radio operator the 2 days before the festival, and you can book that through selfreliancefestival.com. So that'll be, what's the date there? October 12th to 13th, I think, or
I believe so. Yeah.
Yep. So that'll be happening right alongside it, which is great because so many people come to my booth and want to do a class. Last time I had just finished one, and this time, and it wasn't connected to SRF, wasn't promoted through there, so a lot of people missed it. So it'll be a good chance if you're already in the area, come a couple days early. That class is not what you've ever heard of with radio classes, right? So I cater to the beginner who is overwhelmed and intimidated, but we have fun with it and we learn hands-on, right? It's not death by PowerPoint. It's not technical overload. It is hands-on, practical knowledge and you're going to walk away in the name Zero to Hero, like you're going to have a year's worth of knowledge of you watching YouTube and trying to make a go of it yourself, packed into 2 days. A lot of scenarios. I've got all the equipment, some of it behind me here that you get to use. I bring thousands of dollars worth of stuff that you'll get to try out. You don't have to buy it. And it's going to be a blast. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll be sponsoring a little bit of the event. We'll provide, had the idea to provide internet at SRF so people can get out their text messages and make their Facebook posts and stuff, because it's pretty dead over there on the cellular signal. So I'm going to be doing that, and then we'll be slinging radios in the parking lot as usual. If you want to buy radios, we'll program them there on the spot and have some cool new products to share. So it'll be a good time.
Right on. At some point, I need to make some time. Well, both of your courses, but I got to make some time to get into from zero to hero at some point, because
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be done. We're going to sneak in at somehow, and I haven't, I'm not exactly sure which day it's going to be, but we're going to sneak in a work day or two at my property as well. And it's not like, hey, everybody show up and work for free. There'll be people. It's going to be fun. We're going to have some 2 or 3 people that can chat and do some things. Oh yeah, it'll be good. It'll just basically kind of some, all hands on. I bet you 15 or 20 people reach out about coming down for a day. So it's good because I only get a little bit of time and it'll be fun. So,
yeah.
And Autumn Dawn wants to know, will vendors be able to take credit cards on your internet?
Yeah, that's kind of the idea is if you're a vendor, especially, I give you preferred treatment. So you'll be first in line to make sure you get what you need to be able to use Square, PayPal, whatever type of checkout you're trying to use. So you're not handicapped with cash only or trying to find a cell phone signal over there. So, happy to help you.
Nice. And I don't exactly... Who's that? Oh, new member. I'm guessing that will be for SOE, I'm thinking. Thanks for the support there, Exploring with Mike. We appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
I have my suspicions I'm going to speak on murdering the poverty mindset. It went over quite well at LFTN, and cool. It's just something I cannot get off my mind lately. And I think it's one of those things that, I cannot stand the must be nice attitude. And whenever I hear it, I'm just, yeah. So we were at, story time. So we were at LFTN, and Becky ran in to get a couple of pops at the local gas station, and she get taught just
what is a pop.
Sorry, that's a soda for you, or a Coke, depending on, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought for the audience, they might want to know. It wasn't a gunshot or something.
No. And then what is it in Georgia? They call it Coke. Is that right?
I don't know if it's a state thing or not, but yeah, there's plenty of people that call it soda or Coke or a cold drink or heard them all.
Tim does. Letty wants to know if I do speeches. I think so. I don't know. I like to hear the sound of my own voice someday.
That's what I'm doing right now, right?
Yeah, that's right. And Weapons Junkie says, I'm with you, Tim. Poverty mindset is horrible and self-limiting.
No doubt. Yeah.
So anyway, I won't give it all away, but it's just the whole must be nice mindset. And my wife walked in to a gas station. We were in Tennessee. The lady behind the desk was doing nothing but bitching and complaining about what was going on. And the words literally came out of her mouth when she saw somebody drive up in a Beamer. Huh, must be nice. And I was like, she said she had to turn around and leave before she started laughing. So,
Wow. Yeah, I'm not fully evacuated from that mindset yet, but I certainly am well on my way.
It's not something a person ever gets rid of completely.
Yeah.
You know, I suffer from it sometimes too. I don't know what it is. You keep going in, use a medical metaphor. You keep going in and unplugging the damn thing, and somebody keeps coming along with the paddles and bringing it back to life. And I like the visual of curb stomping it, taking it outside, laying it down the curb and jumping on it. But every so often it just comes back from the dead. But that's okay. You just have to keep plugging along. And the more you embrace the abundance mindset, the better off you're going to be.
So what would you say are a couple of key examples of poverty mindset?
There's a lot, but I would say one of the biggest ones is it's just the way it is, and there really two. Well, okay, three, but it's just the way it is. That that's where I was brought up. I was born poor.
Yeah,
it's just an excuse. Another one that drives me crazy is the constant "I'm entitled to it," and that's not just we love to bust on the Gen Zs and the millennials. But that is just as much from my generation and my parents' generation. I know lots of people that just say, I'm just entitled to it. I deserve it, even though they don't work for it.
Yeah.
And I think and I joke, but must be nice is absolutely the most toxic 3 words you can say. Because you can, if you tell somebody something good that's happening in your life, you can take the measure of a man or a woman based on how they react to you telling them something good happening in your life.
Man, ain't that the truth? I've been living that.
Yeah. And that's what I love about John and Nicole and the entire self-reliance community is must be nice people don't stick around very long. The good for you people are the ones you want to surround yourself in, right?
Yeah.
Digger Mike says no.
I've had nothing.
Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I've had nothing but wonderful support from the whole community. Just constantly clients. I mean, Evan's a client. But just all the support, everything with everybody helping me, getting the name out, plugging my business and stuff like that. That's what the wonderful thing about it is it's just the community and the support you have everybody. And I try to support everybody in the community. Evan or your stuff, I try to share, get on everybody's video, try to help that algorithm, but also, promote. Evan posts a class, I try to share it out. I tell people, because you want to get the word out. Plus, you want to see your friends succeed. It's not a contest. It's about, getting the like-minded individuals and the people in our community to be successful and let them know they have options to buy from than the Amazons and Walmarts and everything else. Plus, you're also paying for professional service. That's a big thing with Evan. Yeah, you can order one of the radios from somewhere else, but you're paying for those professional services that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Anytime we bring, and okay, this is what I love, because this community, it's really cool how the Self-Reliance Festival has brought all these different communities together, but we're also creating this really cool circular economy as well.
Yeah.
And it's an economy where we all understand each person has a worth. Each person comes with an expertise, and nobody minds paying for shit that's worth paying for. And we all treat each other great. And if there's a problem, people figure it out. But we have and again, nobody's like, oh boy, I don't think and if you don't want to buy something, you don't buy it. There's no bitching or complaining or moaning about what a person's price is, because we all know everybody works hard, and we want to keep that money within freedom-minded folk like ourselves.
That is the cool thing, is to get to spend money with someone that doesn't want you dead or shackled or imprisoned for what you believe. That's worth a lot to me.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I go around, I'm digging in my wallet trying to find the cards because I may have given them all out, but I carry Evan's card and I carry John's card with me all the time because people ask me, because I've always got something of John's with me. I'm carrying in a bag, whatever. People, oh, where'd you get that, or where is that? But I carry John's card, and I know I've got one of Evan's cards in here because I carry Evan's card with me because I hand them out because people are always talking about, because one of the things I push in my classes is radios, communication, that how important it is if you do have to do prolonged care for somebody to reach out for more expertise help or something. If you can't get to defined care, I said, if you have those communications, you can reach out there and contact somebody. You may be able to contact somebody via radio and they can talk you through something. And they're like, well, where do we get these radios? Well, here you go. And it's just like also John, and Amanda, the support that they give to the small businesses, just the little things like all three of us here, our business cards, we all have our cards that are sent out with the orders now, you know, and just the reach alone on that is just tremendous.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that, boys, that if you guys want to bring me some business cards to Self-Reliance Festival, I will start sending your guys. That is something we need to be more intentional about. Nicole and I talked about that at LFTN, but if you can get me a stack of cards, I'll send them out every month with my patches because I think that's important for everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, I've got to order about, I don't know, what is it, Evan, about 4,000 or 5,000 cards a month. We've got to, send down to John.
It's a little out of hand.
Yeah.
Like my whole marketing budget is just SOE cards.
Yeah, it's mine too.
I think I've sent 2 boxes now. I think 2. I don't know. I think there's 5,000 in a. I can't remember anyway. But it's pretty good. I'm gonna read this here.
We should all be doing that, though. I agree. We should all cross-pollinate the same way, even though it might take us 10 years to make it through 5,000. Some of us.
That's okay. Whatever. You know what? That's still, and it's a warm audience. It's people who want to spend money amongst all of us. That's what's great about it. We're freedom-minded. Not everybody might be an anarchist like me, but I think most people think that, don't steal my shit.
Give them a little time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What do they say? An anarchist or a libertarian is just somebody who doesn't know they're an anarchist yet, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's what it comes down to. And what I love about the concept of anarchy or voluntarism, because some people get scared because, anarchy sounds like a Bond villain or something. But what I love about the concept is it encompasses everyone's beliefs. And because the only things that really matter is don't hurt me and don't steal my shit. And if you don't do that, you can believe and do whatever else you want because it doesn't affect my life. And that's a tough thing for people to grab a hold of because it's cool. I'm, free choice for things I agree with is easy. Free choice for things I disagree with, a lot of people have a hell of a time with that.
Yep. No doubt.
Well,
go ahead, Chuck.
People do have a hard time with it, but I just like what this community is. You get to, it's the reach that it has, and I don't think people realize all the big players we have available to us in this community. I mean, when you start looking at TAC response, and I know Jody was on here. I saw him earlier. I mean, my God, that guy knows everybody, or has some sort of contact or something that knows everybody. And he's already, and that's just another example. And Evan's part of the group, but Jody put me in touch with a group of guys in North Carolina. And Evan knows who I'm talking about, that they're going to, we're negotiating now to host, for me to, do a class there. They're going to host one. The guys down in Florida. I mean, I've just got so many things of just through this reach that I'm getting classes and reaching out. Everything from Pennsylvania down to Florida and everywhere in between I'm teaching now, but because of this community. And then it's just reaching out even more. The things I've done with Evan and the things I've done with you, Tim, and it's just it's amazing if you look at what the reach is from literally Canada, the U.S., and it's really coast to coast. You literally are dealing with from coast to coast of our community, and if I can't find it or I don't know who does something, all I have to do is reach out to some people in the community, and I guarantee you somebody will have a service that I can benefit from. And that's what I want to do. I would rather pay a little bit more
Oh
and
yeah.
give that to a local than, go with some big box brand name or something like that. I'd much rather be able to support, the small business person, and especially somebody who's like-minded.
I don't think there is anyone in the prepper self-reliant sphere that wouldn't be 2 or 3 email contacts away from within our circle. There's been many people that I've wanted to get on my show that I've reached out to fellow contacts, and if they didn't know the person personally, they knew the person to put me into contact with. That's powerful. That's an extension of the TAC response family. That's that same concept. Once you're family, and it's unreal. And the cool thing is something I say I didn't expect. Sure, I expected it, but something that's a pretty big honor is that I get to return that favor now all the time. People reach out, hey, Tim, can you put me into contact with this person or that person? And that's how this works. It's like an old fashioned game of not so much telephone, but I don't know. Did you guys, I know, Evan, you did. Did you grow up in the church, Chuck, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys used to have prayer chains where you'd the old fashioned, mom and dad had, I think dad was the head of it, and there'd be like 6 names they'd call. And then those 6 people would call 6 people. And that's the type of thing it is. It's if you don't know somebody or you need to be put in contact, if Evan needs to know Wrangler Star, how many degrees of separation were you from him?
Just 1.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Right. I wanted to meet Paul Wheaton. I was 1 degree of separation from Paul. It never hurts to reach out. It just, and
that's an abundance mindset that if you don't have it, you think, well, I can't give that up to somebody else, or I can't promote that guy because it takes away from me. What I had this realization a few years ago working for a small startup. You can create value out of thin air, right?
Yeah, you can.
Like it's not a fixed pie. And I think that is probably the philosophical hindrance to most people, is they think there's X amount of dollars, and if someone else is getting some of them, that means I can't get any, or vice versa. And it couldn't be further than the truth. So you can create with an idea and assembling multiple components or building something new or whatever it is. You make something out of nothing and you have created value that didn't exist. Like, that's a miracle. So, I love that. But a lot of folks not too aware of that, right? Like, they just, if you spend $100 over there, that's $100 I can't get from you.
Were you going to say, Chuck?
Well, it's kind of along the same lines. I mean, I'm in a very saturated market of medical training, medical goods, medical kits and stuff. But, I saw a hole, and I worked for other organizations for years and years and done training. And, I've done tactical trauma training for 25 years now. And I saw just the homesteader, the advanced medical. Okay, now what do you do after you stop the bleed? You can have something that's already there, but find that little niche that you see a need for. And I've been very surprised how many people are really, have a thirst for that knowledge to learn more, to train more. And normally, medical is, it's the bastard stepchildren of the training community. Everybody wants the gun stuff and all the cool ninja stuff, but usually medical's put on the back burner, and including in the preps. And that's the other thing I did. I do custom built kits. You tell me what you want, what you need, what you're going to use it for, and what it's going to be envisioned for, and I build you a kit that you're going to use 100% of, not 70% or something like that, and that covers every need that you possibly could have. Or I'll do my best to meet that.
I got one riding in my vehicle with me every day, a whole library of medical. And I hope someone shows up that knows what to do with it.
I have to make time to follow up with you, Chuck. I know we're supposed to talk, and I had him on my show, and I'll be honest, I haven't followed up with you yet to do our post follow up to do it. But I know that's just who we're,
I've already got your kit pretty much built on paper. I just need to go over it with you, and you tell me, yep, and then I'll have it for you.
It is a blessing. What do they call that? An embarrassment of riches when we're all involved with all these incredible events and these incredible happenings. Sometimes shit falls between the cracks, but
embarrassment of riches. I like that. I've never heard that.
So so here's the other aspect of, I get chills thinking about this. Is cool. So, okay. We meet cool people. We support cool people. We all create cool businesses. We're all into this abundance mindset. And then we get to bless other people too, because people say, all right, it must be nice to have abundance, or it must be nice to work hard for that stuff. Well, you know what? The people that work the hardest and the people that have the most are the people that are able to bless the most people. Yep. And you talked about building something out of nothing. And about a year ago, our dog had puppies, and a lady bought one of our Chihuahuas from us. Real sweet little guy. And my wife kept up with her. Recently, about 3 weeks ago, you guys, I'm sure, have heard about the Canadian fires. So maybe you haven't, but all the Americans seem to be bitching about them. Yeah. So her house burnt to the ground. She lost everything but her and her animals. And so anyway, Renegade Butcher in one of my live streams is like, we need to get together as a workshop community and do a lightning thing. And we ended up raising about $300 for her, which was cool. But I bring that up because I need to mention this tonight. There is a lady who is an extension of the Self-Reliance Festival and the Living Free in Tennessee community. Jenny Hill. Do you guys know Jenny?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so she's going through a really hard time. She's got a serious medical issue. And so, again, the power of anarchy and community. Behind the scenes for the last week, there's been some people putting together an auction / live stream, because she's basically not going to be able to work for multiple months because she's taking treatment. She has to be under quarantine. So I'm going to share this link, guys. There's going to be some pretty damn cool stuff in there, including, I want to make sure I get this right, but it's like the master pass to the Self-Reliance Festival. It includes everything. It's like $800 value. So that's going to be in there to bid on. There's going to be a guaranteed spot at Jack Spirko's Survival at one of his workshops. You get to pick which one. That's in there. Just to even get tickets to that is damn near impossible. And there's going to be a ton of other stuff. So check that out.
To get something in on that for you.
Yes, please do. I'm going to have.
I'll do something.
Yeah, and that's what happened. See, I didn't even tell you guys about this, but as soon as you mention it, it gets started, right? I've got
of course.
My custom silver that we just got back, 1 ounce and a 1/2 ounce, and I got you on my list, Chuck. Don't worry. I'm going to donate a one of those, and probably cool. a year's Patch of the Month club as well. So there'll be that in there. So
very cool.
And this is all going to go to help a lady who has spent all of her time helping everyone else in the surrounding community. So that is also the power of Self-Reliance Fest.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Letty said there's a survival podcast, membership brigade, lifetime membership. So I probably said that too many times, but basically unlimited access to all these incredible discounts. So that's really neat too. Anarchy says, I'm still working for the man, but love my work and they pay me well enough. So no rush to move on from that at the time. With AI in the hood now, we'll see if that changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandpa he called me last night checking on me, how things are going, and said, I read about this AI thing. Is that what happened with your other job? Is that, he read all these horror stories. He doesn't comprehend it because it's just not in his wheelhouse, but it's taken over some of the software jobs for sure. It can write code reasonably well, not perfectly, but it sure can save you a lot of time.
There's going to be a lot of I think the hands-on practical stuff is going to be good for a while, but there's going to be a lot of turmoil in the job field over the next few years as we learn to accept. And the thing is, we can't do anything about it. AI is here. So you either embrace it, learn how to use it to your advantage,
That's
or
my
get
take.
left behind. And
That's the abundance poverty mindset again. It's like if you're just going to be depressed or mad that some new innovation came and moved your cheese, like you're going to die with it. But I've played with it a lot. I had it help me prototype some scripts that I use to program radios, and it's super powerful. But I'm not in a position where I'm firing people because I'm using it. It's helping me scale.
Right.
And it's like having a buddy to work with, like bounce an idea off of it, ask for a hand, and it does an okay job, but you still got to have a clue what you're doing, or it spits out some weird stuff.
For me, it's really supercharged search. And I talked about this the other night in an episode. Google's been broken for many years. It's really hard to find what you want specifically on Google. And I know they've been trying to fix it and they've failed miserably, but it's just awful. I do once every couple of months a history of modern prepping series. And that's my biggest researched episode. And so I do a decade. The last one was the 70s. The first two I did all 100%, type it into Google, search, follow the rabbit hole. The third one I did using AI. And basically what it does is it supercharged my sources. So it saved me probably 80% of the time of that following a rabbit hole to find what you're looking for. You go to Wikipedia, you see something you like, you're like, okay, click on 1, click on 2, click on 3. So now I just ask it questions, and then I'm like, hey, AI or Chat GPT, tell me what your sources are. So then I get primary sources way quicker without all of the ad-induced nausea that comes with Google search.
I literally used it the other day. Some friends of us, of our local crew, are meeting every other week on a certain day. I was like, give me all the Wednesdays, every other Wednesday starting next week for the year. And it just spits it. I mean, I could do it in Excel, but it would take me 3 or 4 minutes. It takes 10 seconds in any AI thing, right? Like just ask it something simple like that. So it can make you productive in a way that you could not fathom if you'll just try it. But I understand some of the fear too, but it's you got to have a mindset like you're talking about there. You got to see the opportunity, not the cost.
Well, and so there's your big difference. If you have somebody who's, and I'm absolutely not shitting on people who are not self-employed, but if you are self-employed, now depending on what you're doing, you can choose to use that, like you said, Evan, to your advantage. Now, if you're a copywriter, you might be able to for a little while longer, but maybe not down the road. Who knows, right? Yeah, whereas, if you are a coder, for instance, or maybe a legal aid who writes up legal briefs, you might not have a whole lot of control there. But another thing that I love about being an entrepreneur is it allows you to pivot. So if you see something coming that you think is going to disappear, well, guess what? I better start learning a new skill or run in a different direction.
You're entitled to do the same job today that you did yesterday. Like, the world changes.
Yeah.
Well, I actually used it for the first time the other day. I kept thinking, oh, AI is going to be evil and everything. I said, well, I'm going to try it. I was doing some research on some medicinal herbs. Yeah, I've been learning more, and I'm writing some stuff, doing some research on some stuff. So I tried to see what the difference. I Googled the particular thing I was researching at the time to see what would come up. Then I used AI, to search. Tremendous amount, and it was much quicker. Just like you were saying, you don't have to go through all the ad bullshit and all that stuff. And then you can get more. You can break it down even more. And I was doing that, and it's instantly. And for time saving, and especially when you're self-employed, or you're doing, you're working on your own business, especially when you're pretty much the only employee. I mean, my son helps me teach classes and goes with me and helps me with stuff, but pretty much it's me. That time saver alone, if I can save 30 minutes, that's huge. That's something I can, another 30 minutes I can be working on something else or somebody's order or something like that. And use it to your advantage. Use technology, to where it's going to work for you, not against you.
I'm looking forward to, and it's got to be coming pretty quick, I'm hoping, where it can go through and scrub my videos and turn them into 60-second shorts for me.
Yeah.
Because that
Oh,
is
no doubt.
just so time consuming.
Yeah, and I'm horrible at the editing, so it is, but it's very time consuming. Just putting together a 5-10 minute segment that you post up on YouTube, and then you've got to cut it down to put it on the other social media platforms and stuff like that. It's very time consuming for one video when you're trying to put it all out to everything.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So what is each person, let's try a deep question. No, but so by the time Self-Reliance Festival is over, what's something you want to take away from it this time, Chuck? What would you like to
It's
yeah, go ahead.
it's every time. I mean, every Self-Reliance Festival, it's do I enjoy the presentations and learning and the classes? Yes. But for me, the biggest thing I take away each time is the networking and the people, the conversations. It's those one or two people that when I get to sit down and talk with Evan 3 or 4 different times, throughout the weekend of a 10-20 minute conversation, or go eat dinner with them or something like that. It's those things. It's sitting down with Jody. I mean, I'm just looking to see who's in here right now.
Yeah.
Weapons junkies in here. There's gunfighter concealment. Who else? I saw a few other people that I know that I've got to sit down and spend time with. You, Tim, just to sit down and have those conversations. Like this last Self-Reliance, there was at one point where I believe it was me and Evan, Bear, Ed, from Meridian Group, and Dean from Survival Tips and other stuff. We were all just sitting there talking, just a normal conversation. And just when would you be able to sit face to face with not just one, but all of those people together and just bouncing a conversation off each other? That's what I take away. That's my biggest thing that I get each time. It's not about selling medical gear. It's not about the time. I look at when I have to speak or present, that's taken away from me being able to network or hear the other great speakers that are there.
Yeah.
How about you, Evan?
I definitely agree with that. It's like I was thinking it's almost like a family reunion at this point.
Yeah.
And then you get to meet, of course, a few new people at minimum. On top of that, I'm learning how to do what I do. So, I mean, I've evolved. Yeah. Self-Reliance is like my proving ground almost for the rest of the year of how am I. So, like the first time I showed up, I brought like 10 products and I had them laid out on a table with the little prices next to everything. And I spent the entire time just talking to people, right? And it was excellent. I sold everything I brought, but I sold some things way faster than others. I could have sold 10 times more of one thing that I didn't bring enough of. So when I came back, I evolved it. And I'm down to literally like I sell 1 or 2 things. Now, of course, I have the rest of it with me if you ask about it. But like when I go to a show, I'm pushing a show special, right? And it's something that you can only get that price at that place. And that's a way for me to give back to thanking people for being there partly and build some brand loyalty to SRF. But I had great success with that. I've replicated it elsewhere. So it's a cool little proving ground for how to do business for me, because I'm sitting in front of my table or my booth and I get to have 200-300 conversations over and over and over. I learned to read people better. I learned to I've never done any of that. I've been a behind the scenes guy my whole life. So being forward facing straight to the customer, I love getting to be on that adventure, and I've improved it every time. I've made mistakes every time. And I like that aspect of it. It is partly about making money for me. I need to at least cover the cost of the trip. And I always make 1 or 2 connections though, that end up paying dividends, probably 10 times more than I sold there. And that's really valuable. And I don't know, it'd be hard to meet those people elsewhere. It just attracts, like if you're watching this, considering can I spend $400 to be a vendor or $100 for a table? Like if your product aligns with what's going on, you cannot ask for a better opportunity to promote what you're doing and meet people. And like it should be just filled to the brim with vendors, because it's an awesome subsection of the world, just all in Camden for a weekend. You wouldn't be able to find these people through Facebook ads and
No.
Google
ads, and it's great. So that'd be my 2 cents.
I gotta say, and I'm gonna make a prediction, but I think this is going to be the largest attended one. Now that's an easy prediction, but I'm going to say it's going to be the largest attended one by a lot, by like at least 20%, because there is a serious buzz. Almost everybody I talk to, and that's including Canadians that I talk to, and I know we're a strange lot, almost everybody says they're either considering coming or they're sure as shit coming. I cannot wait. Chuck talked about not hearing presenters. The first event I went to was Nicole's a couple years ago there, or last year, sorry. And I think I went to the first speaker. And after that, I didn't go to another one. And I started feeling guilty. I was talking to Nicole. She says, that's not what you're here for. You're here to talk to people, meet people, make connections, encourage people, connect people. So I realized that, and I embraced that. I went to prepper camp, and there's 6 speakers every hour for 8 hours a day for 3 days. And I think I attended 2 of my friends' presentations, because everything is sitting and chatting. And, each event I go to, I sell more. I learn what I need to take. So I now have the custom battery packs, and I now have USBs with all my generator content, things like that. But for me, it's the connections that I make, for instance, one was really cool. And I think I mentioned this at Self-Reliance, but the one I was at, Spags and some of the guys from EMP Shield, they weren't there. And I mentioned to somebody, I'm like, I'd really like to make a connection with them, because I'd like to test out their product, or at least get my hands on it and read the literature on it and talk to them. So eventually we talked, and I became an affiliate, and I've done some videos for them. And they are, I've had more success with that one thing than almost any other single thing I've done for product affiliates. So that was 100% out of a conversation, out of a few throwaway lines and a couple of podcasts at Self-Reliance, and then the power of community coming together. That's what I love. I will make time for you no matter what at Self-Reliance Festival. I will. You might sometimes you might have to wait just a little while. Last time Porterhouse had to bring me some water because it was getting kind of dry, but just come and find me, and I will talk, and I will encourage you, and I just want to hear your success. That's all I want to hear. And so for 2 days straight, I'll listen and I'll talk, and I probably won't listen to anybody present, and don't take it personally.
You do a great job of that. I always felt really championed when I've talked to you, and it's a spiritual gift of yours for sure.
I mean it. You know what I mean? It's not phony. I know you can't. I can say that as many times as I want, but I realized talking to Nicole one day, she said my gift was connecting people and encouraging people. I was like, shit, I think she's right. Because there's nothing I get more excited about than, no, I should say this. I get really excited about me succeeding too. So I'm not just, but I also get really excited to see absolutely everybody else succeed. And John Willis is the exact same way. He's got no time for people who won't do it, but he absolutely champions. And I've tried to, of course, I'm a little softer on this kind of stuff, but I've tried, I tell people, if you email me and ask for advice, I'll give you advice. If you don't listen to it, you might not get a response to the second email. I can't promise, but if you keep doing shit, oh man, I get excited. That's what gets me out of bed.
Well, John, he told me the original name of my business was, Appalachian Medical Solutions. He said, that's too long. That's too many words. Change it. He goes, you're doing Homestead Medical, so make it Homestead Medical. Now go out and buy every URL that is anything close to that, anywhere that's near that or whatever. And then he actually did the searching for me and was sending me screenshots of stuff and doing stuff in a 10-minute. And you're a fool if you don't listen to John when he gives you business advice, because
Yep.
he's been there and done it, and he's proof of success. So as soon as he told me go out and buy all these URLs and he listed them, I went and bought every single one.
100%.
And the misspellings and everything else that kind of sounds like it. And you know, I've followed his advice, and when he says to do something, but it's also you, Tim. It's like when I get discouraged with making content, I remember what you told me. Doesn't matter if only 5 people have liked the video or the views. Make more.
Yeah.
Keep making more. Keep doing it. It'll build. And that's what I keep doing, because I'm like, oh, I spent all that time making that video and I've only got like 12 likes or 15 views or whatever. But it's funny. I can put the exact same content on all the different platforms, and it's certain platforms it takes off. I'll have 17,000 views, and the exact same, you know, video on another platform will have 30 views. So it's, but I listen to all the people. I've even what Evan's done and said and advice he's given, and I couldn't be thrilled. I was there, you know, when Evan, when that conversation was had. I was on the other side of the room when he started doing this, and I remember him coming in, pulling off his I think it was the Milwaukee cases and everything.
All the pack outs.
Right behind you now.
Yeah. He pulling them in and setting up all the stuff that he had. And I think it's great, the success that he has had, and the collaborations. I couldn't have been happier with him. The one he just did with Wranglestar and John and stuff like that. And that just goes to prove all the people out there, well, I don't know if I should do it or if I can do it. Yeah, you can. I'm doing it. Mine has become much more successful, where I'm devoting more and more time each week to it, and I hope to make it full time very soon. You know, by the end of the year, that's my goal. And all the people that are out there that help, that promote it, that just the little name drops and things like that are just, there's not enough thanks for that. There's not enough appreciation that I have for the people who have done that for me, and that's why I try to pay it back with everybody else, you know, to go and watch and support and tell people, you know, Evan's one of them, that because I believe in his product too. I know what he does. I've seen what he does, and it's worth supporting, and it should be supported. It should be supported by everybody in this community.
Appreciate that.
Well, fellers, first off, I got to mention selfreliancefestival.com. If we haven't said it yet tonight, that's where you get your tickets. Early bird pricing, I believe, is on until August 1st. So if you want to save a little money and get there, but think about getting the VIP or the Mega Pass ticket if you're interested, because if you need 4 days of, I think it's 4, maybe it's 5, insane amount of content and mental download, then it's worth it. Check it out for sure. So
that's new. I hadn't heard of that. That's awesome that they're doing that. My class is in there on that ticket.
Yes, it's I want to say exactly what I know. It's like 800 and I can't remember exactly. I don't want to say specifics because I'm a little bit wrong, but check it out. The website's going to be updated right away with everything on there, but it's a pretty cool, and the whole self-reliance thing is becoming its own beast. Hey, it's going to be a week long before long if you want to go to these supplemental events for sure.
Well, it's so worth it. If you haven't been and you've been on the fence coming to Self-Reliance, trust me, first one I showed up, I didn't know anybody, not one soul, except for watching the lives with John and just seeing names. But I've met people, and it was like I already knew them. You know, they accept you immediately, they involve you, they talk to you, and it's so worth taking the time and the little bit of expense to go to it, because believe me, once you pay for a ticket and you go see everything, you're going to think you stole something, because the value that you walk away with, just the contents alone, the contacts that you gain and meet and the new people, is worth that price of admission.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Patrick. I think, is he saying that he can't make it? Is that, or I'm thinking, is that
busted means broke, like financially busted.
All right, so here's what I'm going to say. I If you're willing to show up, I will buy your admission ticket to get you in, and you can work at my table for half a day for pay. How's that sound? So if you can be there, I'll pay for your individual ticket. You don't have to follow up with me. I'm leaving the ball in your court. But Patrick Lee, if you want to come and you mean it, I'll fucking pay for the ticket. So let me know.
Fun.
And yeah, we'll go from there. How's that sound? So follow up with me if you want to. You can find me if you want to. I'm here, but over at the workshop on YouTube, Toolman Tim's workshop. So, how do we find you, Evan?
RadioMadeEasy.com, or if you like to misspell things, I do own radios, madeeasy.com also. But yeah, check me out there. I'm on all the socials and YouTube and all that jazz. But Instagram and the website are the best. And I'll be training all over the East Coast and even out in Idaho this year. So if you want to catch a class that's not in Tennessee, they're all listed on my site. Got a lot of cool new products on the site. And I'll be at Prepper Camp. I'll be at a few other events. So we'll have a blast wherever I see you. I look forward to meeting somebody new every time.
The anarchists are taking over. Oh my goodness. I got to jump in real quick. I know this is not the Prepper Camp show, but it's all leading to self-reliance. I went there last year. Joel Riles was there from Fortress Canine. He's the only other feller from the self-reliance family. Had a lot of my Prepper broadcast family there. We're going to take over this time. It's going to be like Self-Reliance East.
Yeah, there we go.
It's going to be good. I can't wait. I've been sending names from anyway to Rick and Jane, the ones that run it constantly. Yeah. People are like, yeah, anyway, it's going to be good. I can't wait. I bet you there's been a dozen people I've sent their way. So we're going to take it over, baby. It's going to be good. So
it's a very different thing. It's its own chemistry and its own kind of, it's similar, but not in any way a replacement for SRF. You definitely want to come to SRF.
How about you, Chuck Peoples? How do we find you?
Homesteadmedical.us. It's my website. Email is chuck@homesteadmedical.us. I'm going to be at SRF. I'm not sure. I don't even know what day the class I'm doing Saturday or Sunday yet. They haven't told me. I've gotten a couple of emails from Mama Sauce since then about this class, because this was just finalized earlier this week. But I'm going to be doing a half-day class on all things wound care, advanced wound care, everything from debridement, wet to dry dressings, long-term wound care, closures, the whole thing. And then I'm going to be at Prepper Camp and Midwest Preparedness and Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival. If there's a weekend in October and whatever festival it is, I'm probably going to be at that one and whatever's advertised, because every weekend in October I'm either at a festival or teaching a class.
Yeah.
And September, and now I'm, in November is coming that way. I'm going to be in Florida in November down at Combat Arts Training.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, so come train with us, but it all starts with SRF. You've got to come to SRF, and that's where you're going to meet. It's the real deal, and you're going to get one-on-one time with all these people that maybe you've never met them or talked to them, but you watch their videos. You're going to get to stand and talk to them. Tim, yep. Whether it's Evan, John Willis, Nicole, Joel from Fortress Canine. You could sit and talk to him, have a drink with him. I mean, I love spending time with him and Wendy every time they come.
Yep.
Me, whoever it is, everybody's going to be there, and just it's well worth coming. Spend the money. Go to Evan's class. Hopefully, you'll come take mine. Go to Joel Salatin's class on Monday, and every single penny you spend is going to be well worth it.
And I'm bringing bourbon, so it'll be good. But I just looked. The early bird tickets right now are $75. So that it doesn't.
It's just ridiculously good value.
Yeah, it is.
It ought to be 3 times that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it is. And it's worth it, every penny. Anyway, so I can't wait. I'm glad I got the opportunity to come on with you guys tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for the hosting. You did a great job keeping us on track there, Tim.
So if you want to find me, if you don't know who I am, I guess my name's right there, Toolman Tim. But you can find me over on YouTube at Toolman Tim's Workshop. Right now it's 3 episodes a week of Workshop Radio. I get to interview some of the coolest people in the preparedness field. I recently got to interview Paul Wheaton. A while back, I got to interview William Fortune, that wrote 1 Second After, and a ton of other really cool people. So also, we have a lot of fun. The interviews nonstop, and preparedness, self-reliance, and a mental kick to the ass. That's what I try to do. So I've got Sean Mills, another extended person of the Extended Self-Reliance Festival, coming on my show in exactly 29 minutes and 52 seconds. So I'm going to shamelessly plug my live stream right here. So if anybody wants to come by and join later, I will be there. But either way, I want to see you at Self-Reliance Festival if you can make it. No excuses, because I know $75 can be a lot to a lot of people, but a person can go out and do a little hustle for a bit to find it. But I'd love to see you there. And like I said, that offer stands, Patrick. So let me know. And with that, guys, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.